Welcome to another edition of SKNIS Week in Review, a weekly program that highlights some of the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Coming up, several bills tabled in National Assembly, Water Services Department to continue well drilling to address increasing demand for water, and government offers discounted land rate to residents of Lagreet Extension. I am your presenter, Carissa Franks Benjamin. On Thursday, March 18, several bills were tabled at a sitting of National Assembly. Bills which had their first reading by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris included the Companies Amendment Bill 2021, Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2021, and Gaming Control Bill 2021. The Honorable Prime Minister moved the second reading of the Miscellaneous Financial Services Amendment Bill 2021, which had its first reading on March 4, 2021, Non-Government Organizations Amendment Bill 2021, which had its first reading on March 4, 2021, Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2021, and Virtual Assets Amendment Bill 2021, which had its first reading on March 4, 2021. All bills for second reading were passed. On March 15, St. Kitts and Nevis joined the rest of the world in observing World Consumer Rights Day under the theme Tackling Plastic Pollution. According to Minister of Consumer Affairs, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, the theme is geared towards raising awareness and effect positive consumer attitudes and practices insofar as sustainable development is concerned. She noted that the theme builds on the one from last year, which was the sustainable consumer, and focuses on the key role of governments, consumer rights groups, civil society, and the private sector in addressing the global plastic pollution crisis. In order to highlight the World Consumer Rights Day, the Department of Consumer Affairs planned a week of activities. The minister highlighted some of the major activities which were planned. She said that Consumer Awareness Week 2021 kicked off with a church service on March 14 at the Antioch Baptist Church. The week continued with a business forum entitled Businesses Are Consumers Too on March 17, and on March 18, the department hosted the Consumer Affairs Primary School Essay and Jingle Competition. The minister noted that the department believes that an informed consumer is also an empowered consumer, and as such, the department is serious in its mission and mandate to protect the rights of all consumers.
We remind everyone that we are all consumers of the goods and services produced, marketed, sold, and bought in our federation. As such, consumer protection and consumer rights constitute everybody's business.
The St. Kitts Water Services Department will continue its well drilling program by contracting 2 hydrologists from the BEAD LLC. This was stated by Cromwell Williams, hydrologist and acting water engineer at the Water Services Department, during the radio and television show Working for You on March 17. BEAD LLC has had a business relationship with the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and has handed over 2 operational and offline non-operational well to the Nevis Island Administration in 2018 after a 10-year agreement between both parties. BEAD LLC was also contracted by the Nevis Island Administration in 2019 to find additional water on Nevis because of reduced rainfall, leading to water shortages.
Unfortunately, when we look at the situation locally in St. Kitts, we are not in the position that we would like to be in terms of the amount of water that we have, the supply versus the demand. And I'm thinking in particular with some or most of the hotels that are not operating or operating at capacity, and we're just barely getting by. I think if we were having a booming tourism season, we will be in a even more critical situation. So the long and short of it is that right now our supply and our demand are very, very close, and it is not. We need to have a certain amount of redundancy. We need to have excess water.
He noted that there are many competing uses for water within the Federation, which include potable and non-potable water demand. However, Mr. Williams said that the government will always see it as its responsibility to ensure that it endeavors to meet the demand for potable water for mainly home use purposes. In related news, in celebration of World Water Day on March 22nd, the Water Services Department has planned a week of activities geared towards sensitizing the public on the importance of water. While appearing on the radio and television show Working for You on March 17, Cromwell Williams, hydrologist and acting water engineer, said that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of activities has been limited. The activities have been planned around the COVID-19 restrictions. He said that the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, who is responsible for public infrastructure, including water, will declare the week of activities open on Saturday, March 20th. On Sunday, March 21st, the Water Services Department, along with their colleagues in the ministry, will attend a service at the Sandy Point Methodist Church. The following Monday and Tuesday, that's March 22nd and 23rd respectively, are designated as open days where aspects of the department's main office at Needmos will be on display. Mr. Williams stated that the department wants to share with the public the matter of conservation.
We live in a small island. We have limited and a finite supply of water. And as we continue to develop and expand, the demand on that limited supply of water increases. And so it is very important that each and every one of us understand that with every passing year, it becomes more critical for us to conserve the water that we have.
On Wednesday, March 24th, the department will be in the Independence Square providing information to the public. The department will also use the opportunity to gather information from the public as they are moving towards electronic billing. There will also be a competition amongst the staff. In addition, the department will be relaunching its website www.water.gov.kn as well as its Facebook page on Wednesday, March 24th. Thursday, 25th March will be the release of the first video in the series Valuing Water, and on Friday, 26 March, 9 a.m. will be Customer Appreciation Day at the Water Services Department at Needmos and the Post Office. The Federal Cabinet of Ministers is scheduled to receive an update on matters related to the severance fund from the Labour Commissioner on Monday, March 22, 2021. Severance payments have been a critical issue for the government, which is keen to help qualifying residents in light of the economic challenges brought about by the COVID-19 global pandemic. During his appearance on Leadership Matters on Tuesday, March 16, Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris said that the staff of the Department of Labor is working hard to process claims.
We are dealing with a significant number of persons who have been made jobless as a result of COVID-19. And so the process takes time.
One area for discussion is how the unprecedented number of claims can be processed more efficiently. A team from the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board is expected to meet with the Cabinet on Monday as well. The institution has data related to an employee's work history, which factors into the claims process. The Accountant General is also scheduled to be a part of this meeting, according to the Prime Minister. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, through the Ministry of Sustainable Development, has decided to offer discounted land rates, interest-free, to approximately 90 residents who reside on properties at Lagreet Extension without title, right, or lease.
For a number of years, the residents of the Lagreet community have been living in unsustainable conditions. The government vowed that they would change this and bring it to a place where they can feel proud to live. The government then decided to give them ownership of the land that they have been living on. Also would have reduced the land because they have been living there for so long. They will be getting the land at $2 per square foot.
Mrs. Simpson Brown said that the matter was taken to Cabinet by the parliamentary representative, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, and Cabinet decided to sell for half the price instead of $4. Addressing the residents, Pierre Simpson Brown said that the idea of owning a piece of land empowers people. Hence, the government is indeed pleased to assist.
Land ownership is a very serious thing because land ownership not only gives you the power to construct your house, repair your house, do an addition to the house that you now live in, allow your children to go off to university, get a loan for whatever reason, you name it, it gives you the power. So you coming here today in starting the process to own the land that you live on, I find that remarkable. And I just want to congratulate and commend all of you.
The project is dubbed Lagreet North to maintain a beautiful surrounding and ensure there is value added to the properties. Owners will not be permitted to fence their properties with galvanized or galvalume. Additionally, no resident will be permitted to rear goats, sheep, or pigs in the area. However, the residents were encouraged to engage in backyard gardening or farming. And that's it for this week's edition of SKNIS Week in Review. Join us again next week.